Paulie's World of Sports Sims proudly presents the ALTNFL, established 1970, and this first video will be of the 1970 season, and we will play through 2024 if you stay around long enough, and if I live long enough. This is going to be a multi-season project. Hello everybody, Big Paulie coming to you. Hope you're having a good day whenever you find this. Our first game is going to pit, and I should probably bring out the graphic to show you that the game will be between the Oakland Raiders and the Dallas Cowboys. So this is a unique little experiment. We are going to suppose for the, as Ella comes down and joins me right in the middle of this, Ella is my cat, everybody, so say hello. And we're going to assume for this project that Commissioner Pete Rozelle, when he merged the NFL and the AFL, decided to get rid of conferences and have 4 geographical divisions. Oakland and Dallas would be part of the Western Division. There was also the East, the Mid-East, the Midwest, and the West. I'll just go through where the teams are real quick here. I can go to my display, and I'll take OBS down for the moment, and I will show it to you. Buffalo, the 2 New York teams, which will be denoted N will be the Giants, A will be the Jets. Washington, Philadelphia, Boston, and Baltimore make up the East Division. The East and the West have 7 teams. The Mid-East and the Midwest have 6. In the Mid-East, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Atlanta, Miami, and Detroit. In the Midwest, it's basically going to be the NFC Central plus the 2 Missouri teams, Minnesota, Green Bay, Chicago, St. Louis, New Orleans, and Kansas City. So Detroit's in the Mid-East, kind of dislodged from the other the NFC Central teams. And in the West, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Oakland, Houston, Dallas, San Diego, and Denver. As we come back. And let me also punch up Free Show. I've been experimenting with using Free Show. It's basically used for churches. And our church is switching from going to ProPresenter to Free Show, and for some reason it's not letting me show you this last page, and I don't know why that is, but hey, these things happen. These things will happen. Now let me see if I can punch it up. Oh, here it is. Good, good, good. The project rules, as I have stated, no conferences, 4 divisions. The 4 division winners and the 4 wild card teams make the playoffs, because in 1970 you had 8 teams make the playoffs. It was just 4 from each conference. We're just going to make it 8 since they're all going to be amalgamated. The teams will be seeded by record, but if a 12-2 division winner, if there is a 12-2 division winner and a 12-2 team that did not win the division, then the division winner will get the higher seed. And the tiebreakers, as you see here, division finish, head-to-head, division record, net points, total points scored, power rankings, and then the coin toss, which we hope we never, ever, ever get to. As Ella is in the letterbox, and you could smell it from here. So on to our first game, everybody. I hope you all enjoy the project. This, like I said, this is game 1 of probably many. We're going to do a game of the week. I don't know how the networks would divide the games in this alignment. I would assume ABC still had the Monday Night Football package for the first time. But in my world, they did not get the game between the Jets and the Cleveland Browns. They got some other game. But we're going to do Oakland and Dallas because these are 2 very strong teams. Oakland went 12-1-1 in 1969, and Dallas went 11-2-1 in the same year. So only 3 losses between these two teams in the prior year, so we thought this would be the marquee matchup. I will play as both offenses, and we're going to fire this game up. 83 degrees. Wind very negligible. No precipitation expected. And like I said, the computer will play as both defenses. And after the game, we will have the scoreboard from the first week. We'll do all the playoff games, so it'll be 21 games a season until we get to 1978, to which point we will play 25 games a season, because we go to 16 teams, 16 games for everybody, and then 10 teams make the playoffs instead of 8. Teams, this will be as realistic as we can make it. Teams will be restricted to using 40 players at any one time. You see the quarterbacks here, LaMonica and Morton. The coin flip is going to go Oakland's way. They will receive. Atkinson is the deep man, and Mike Clark will kick it off, and off we go, I hope. And Atkinson took it just in front of his goal line, and he's going to get a good return out to the 34. Here is the offense for your Oakland Raiders. LaMonica, the quarterback, Dixon and Smith, Charlie Smith, your running backs, Bolitnikoff, Chester, and Warren Wells are your receivers. And your front line is Shue, I guess, Upshaw, Otto, Harvey, and Sivas, I guess that would be. And we'll give you the Dallas defense, and it's a very staunch defense when we get through with this first play. Our first play is going to go to Hewlett Dixon, off tackle to the right. And that was a huge gain for Dixon, 27 yards, and just like that, they are in Dallas territory at the 38. See if we could show you Dallas's defense. We cannot, because we are still showing you Oakland's offense. I haven't figured this out, so just give me a moment here. Now we'll show you Dallas's D. The front four, George Andre, Bob Lilly, Jeff Ropew, Larry Cole. The linebackers, Dave Edwards, Leroy Jordan, and Chuck Howley, who would be the hero of Super Bowl V in real life. And your defensive backfield, Herb Adderley, formerly of Green Bay. The great Charlie Waters, Cornell Green, Mel Renfro. Just a solid defense from top to bottom. Charlie Smith will get the dive play on 1st and 10 from the 38. There it goes, and he only gains 2 yards. Adderley making the tackle for Dallas. We'll go double tight ends, but that would bring in Ted Coy, not to be related to Ernie Coy, who at this point is playing with the New York Giants. We'll just stay in a single tight end package, and we'll go to Hewlett Dixon again on 2nd and 8. A lot more running, and Dallas seems to be weakest against the run. They are a B. Against the pass, they are a B+, but they have a good pass rush. They're rated A. The Raiders do better passing than running, only a C+ running, and they are a B passing. So on 3rd and a yard, I will go full house, which will put Hubbard in the game, and we'll go to him on a dive or an inside run, and he will get the first down, pickup of 2 yards. The ball's at the 27 as we begin this project. 1st and 10 at the 27. And I think it'll be time to do a little play action here. And we're going to look to Warren Wells. And if you've ever read the book about Monday Night Football in the late 80s, Frank Gifford makes a faux pas saying a little late in a future season that Warren Wells was still with the Oakland Raiders, when he in fact had been arrested and was doing time in San Quentin. Here, Chester, it was a check down the Raymond Chester. He gained 8 yards. So, 2nd and 2, we'll go outside and we'll go to Charlie Smith just to keep everything balanced. And he'll be short of, no, he did get the first down just barely as Andrew brought him down at the 17. 1st and 10, 10:49 left, opening quarter. We have no score. We have just begun if you have queued up to this particular point in the file. We're going to sweep to the right and we're going to go back to Charlie Smith. Famously scored a touchdown in the Heidi game.
Offense, number 76, 15-yard penalty.
So Cephas picking up a holding penalties, and holding penalties in 1970 are pretty bad. 15-yard penalties for holding, and that didn't change until 1974. We do not use 4 wide receiver or 5 wide receiver sets. We do not use on defense anything beyond nickel defenses. You can't use a dime, you can't use a quarter. We just try to keep it as lifelike as we can. So on 1st and 25, we're going to try a short hitch, and we're going to look to number 25 out of Florida State, Fred Bolitnikoff, and that was overthrown.
Defense, number 66, 5-yard penalty.
Andrew just cheated a little bit, and the 15 yards that Oakland got, they're going to get 5 back. As I open up my fridge and get some water here. Got to keep a moist palate as I talk to you. So we do 1st down again. It'll be 1st and 20 this time. We're going to go medium hitch to Wells, who's a bit of a deep threat, and that's going to be close to the 1st down. Completed pass, 19 yards, so now it's just 2nd and a yard. And we will go back to Hewlett-Dixon. It'll be interesting to see as the season progresses how the realignment or the reimagined alignment changes the complexion of these teams. And teams will be very real in 1970. But when we get to drafting new players for 71, things will change. John Riggins won't be playing for the Jets. He might be playing for the Cleveland Browns or the San Diego Chargers. And when we get to that, we will get to that. So it's a 3rd and inches situation at the 7. We're going to go Charlie Smith. And he will be stopped short of the 1st down. This 10-play, 57-yard drive that has taken 6:42. It's 4th and a full yard. We'll take the field goal, and we bring out number 16, George Blanda, and he puts it through from 15 out. Had to be a little disappointing for the Raiders to only get 3 here, but they do get points on the board. And now it'll be Dallas's turn. Yes, I know Dallas should be in white, be wearing white jerseys, and Oakland should probably be wearing their darker jerseys, but that is what that is. And that's how the game kind of set it up. Washington back deep, and he is a return threat. He's going to be 3 yards deep, so we're just going to bring it out to the 20. Offensively, well, first defensively for Oakland, you have Lasky, your outside linebacker. But let's get to the front 4 of Klein, Keating, Dotson, and Carlton Oates. Then you got Lansky, Dan Connors, still a very good linebacker, but only a 5. He had been higher up in earlier years. Gus Otto is your outside linebacker out of Missouri. Kent McLaughlin, George Atkinson, Dave Grayson, and Willie Brown, Old Man Willie. Here's your defensive backfield. We'll go, I would think, yeah, I think Dallas would use a split backfield because Calvin Hill and Thomas each have kind of the same skills. We're going to go to Thomas here. No, it's to Hill. Otto is blitzing. It's a gain of 3 yards. So it'll be 2nd and 7. More than midway through the 1st quarter. And I'll just have to go through the roster. Now, there's probably an easier way to do it, but I can't think of it yet. So bear with me, folks. Greg Morton out of California is your quarterback. Calvin Hill, who played in that 29-29 tie with Harvard, that Harvard claimed they won, is one of the running backs along with Dwayne Thomas. Bob Hayes and Lance Rensel are your receivers. Mike Ditka over from the Chicago Bears out of the University of Pittsburgh. Rayfield Wright, John Nyland, David Manders, Blaine Nye, and Ralph Neely are your offensive linemen. Dwayne Thomas is who I was thinking of when I said Thomas, so my apologies. We're going to go Thomas on a sweep at 2nd and 7. And he will gain 2 yards, setting up 3rd and 5. Klein. It was Klein time for the Raiders, and he made the stop. Reggie Rucker comes in as a 3rd wide receiver, but I'm going to throw here to Mike Ditka. Looking for 89. But instead, the throw went to Reggie Rucker, a gain of 13, and a first down for the Dallas Cowboys. 5:47 now left in the opening quarter. We'll play a double tight end set. That brings in Pettis Norman. And we're going to run outside with Calvin Hill. A loss of 4 yards. No fatigue rules in my ALTNFL because it's not like a running back's going to know that he can't get the ball 40 times. Like, it's not like a pitcher trying to use a pitcher and you're trying to use him in modern day terms 150 pitches. You know he will know that he would be more likely to know that he would be fatigued. So I don't use fatigue settings in football. We're going to go Bob Hayes here. Bullet Bob on 2nd and 14. And that's a sack by Klein, a loss of 6. Oh, and Dallas in a bad way on this drive. It's going to be 3rd and 20. Now, the good thing about 1970 is medium passes. You could use medium passes and get 20 yards in action PC football, whereas in the modern day, a medium pass would only probably be good for 15. So we're going to go Lance Rensel on 3rd and 20. And hope they come up with something. Morton with plenty of time, and a completed pass. A19, it's Lance Rensel, and it's a gain of 25. Back to the double tight end set. Back to an outside run. We'll go Dwayne Thomas. Dallas now in Oakland territory at the 47. Gain of 4 yards. And Thomas has made it now a 2nd and 6. He would be the hero of Super Bowl 6. But he would be more notorious for not talking to the media or maybe even his teammates that year. We'll go back to Thomas on the stretch. It's 2nd and 6. And he stretches his way for a first down. Lasky on the stop for the Raiders. And that's going to make it a 1st and 10 with 2:10 left in the opening quarter. As I double check and make sure I'm capturing the display. Inside run, Calvin Hill on 1st and 10. Oakland is trailing 3-0. There is a fumble on the play, and Nye, one of the linemen, Nye is one of the guards, recovering the fumble. It's now 2nd and 12. We will stay in the base formation, but we're going to throw a quick out, short hitch to Hayes, which could get 17 yards. Looking and having number 22 is Greg Morton, a gain of 25, and that's a 1st and 10 from the 13 coming up. Morton 3 for 3, 63 yards, so he is off to a good start. We're going to quick pitch to Dwayne Thomas, 1st and 10 from the 13. Here's the pitch, and there is a run of 6 yards, and we have reached the end of the first quarter with your score. The Raiders 3 and the Cowboys nothing, but they are driving. 2nd and 4. The ball now at the 7. We'll go full house and bring in Walt Garrison. And Garrison, his first carry, will be good for the touchdown. That was a 12-play, 80-yard drive going 7:40, and the Cowboys take the lead. The extra point by Clark is as good as a Clark bar, and it's 7-3 with 14:49 left to go in the second quarter, just only 11 seconds into the second stanza. Atkinson again back deep for Oakland. He's Going to catch it at about the 2, maybe the 3. And he's chugging up the field to the 19. It was a return of 17 yards. So Oakland had success running the ball on their first drive, 7 carries for 40, 5.7, and LaMonica, when he went to the air, was successful, 2 for 2 for 27 yards. And we're going to go play action to Bolitnikoff on first down, try to catch the Dallas defense.
Offsides, defense, number 66, 5-yard penalty.
The pass was caught by Bolitnikoff, and the offsides will not matter because Oakland will decline the penalty and set up shop at their own 32, first and 10. To Charlie Smith on a pitch to the right, but he is hit and hit hard by Jethro Pugh. A loss of 4 yards, and it'll be 2nd and 14. Going to be wondering what John Madden was smoking on that play. We'll go Smith once again. Get him right back on the horse on 2nd and 14, and he gets back to the original line of scrimmage before Cole could make the stop, and it's now 3rd and 10. Ball to 32, 13:33 now left. We'll go 3 wide. And we'll go to Rod Sherman. That's a completed pass, 26-yard gain for Sherman. Leroy Jordan caught up to him at the Dallas 42. So 1st and 10. Both teams with some sustained drives here. We haven't seen any big flashy plays. It's just been good offensive, keep a drive going football. And we'll go Hewlett-Dixon here to give Charlie Smith a rest on 1st and 10 from the 42. A gain of 1. Edwards on the stop for the Cowboys. So Oakland and Dallas in this West Division, they will play each other twice. And they will play 14 games. Everybody will play 14 games total. In the Mid-East and Midwest divisions, you might see a little more interdivisional play, with them only having 6 teams. But on 2nd and 9, what do? We're going to sweep it to the right and go to Charlie Smith. Getting the ball, this was the 6th time he's gotten the ball, but as John McKay used to say, the ball is not heavy. A gain of 4, Jethro Pugh on the stop, and it is now a 3rd and 5. We'll go Chester here. Raymond Chester on a short hitch pass. Incomplete. And on 4th and 5, now the odds don't favor a field goal being successful here by George Blanda. But if you miss the field goal and the field goal is not returned, which in the game doesn't happen, but in real life does, the advantage of the missed field goal in 1970 is the ball will be at the 20. So Blanda's going to try one from 45. He did not, 44 actually, and he did not get it. There's no harm, no foul really, because Dallas will get the ball at their own 20. And this will be just like a touchback. Double tight end set, so Pettis Norman comes in and will go to Calvin Hill. And Calvin Hill gains 3. Grayson on the stop for the Oakland Raiders, who trail 7-3. Just about 20 minutes total into this contest. Look for Lance Renzel on the slant on 2nd and 7. It is complete, but it was a check down to Calvin Hill. Hill is 35, Thomas is 33, my bad. And Morton is still very accurate, 4 for 72 yards. It is not unusual in the early 70s in the NFL to see a quarterback throw the ball less than 10 times. In fact, I think Bob Greasy in Super Bowl 7 did that. So 1st and 10 at the 32. We'll go back to Dwayne. And that's a pickup of 2. Keating on the stop. Go a little up close and personal on Tom Keating. He's out of the University of Michigan. 9 against the run, 9 defender, and it'll be 2nd and 8. How about a short hitch to Iron Mike Ditka? The throw, it's another check down to Calvin Hill, and it's a first down, a pickup of 8 yards on the tackle, Gus Otto. You can see the matchups here. They do not favor Dallas all that much, so they're going to have really to be dependent on their running game in this contest. Norman coming back in at tight end. We'll go back to Dwayne. And evidently he has a 3-yard gain. 2nd and 7. Back to one tight end. And how about we call up Bullet Bob Hayes on a slant. And that's a huge gain for Bob Hayes. 44 yards. Grayson making the stop at the 11-yard line. And the Dallas Cowboys again in business, and Greg Borton has been Mr. Accurate, 6 for 6, 124 yards so far. We're going to pound the rock, go back to Dwayne Thomas on this 1st and 10 play. And that's a gain of 1 yard. Connors on the stop for Oakland, who are trying not to fall further behind. They only trail 7-3. You want to hold Oakland to a field goal here. Sweep right, Dwayne Thomas on 2nd and 9. Keep trying. No gain. 3rd and 9. We will stay in the base formation. Thomas is getting tired. So if we get a first down, we might put in Walt Garrison. Okay, so we're going to go for the short pass. And look up Bob Hayes again. Morton. Incomplete. Oh, it is caught. It looked like it was deflected, and Hayes caught it for a touchdown. And Dallas opens up their lead a little bit with the extra point by Clark. It is now 14-3. 4:41 left until halftime. So far, the time of possession seems much more like Dallas has had the ball for way longer than Oakland has, but it's about even, 13:28 to 11:51. So Atkinson again back deep for the Oakland Raiders, who now play in Las Vegas. And this is a nice return for Atkinson. Kiner making the stop at the 35. So now if you're Oakland, you're going to be a little more aggressive trying to throw the ball. Short out to Warren Wells is the attempt here on 1st and 10. And that's deflected by Waters. He broke it up. Charlie Waters, number 41. No, I can't change the defense. I wasn't trying to change the defense. I thought it would be a shortcut to show you. You see him there. He's out of Clemson, 22 years old. Would later go on and do some booth work in the 80s for CBS with Tom Brookshire. When Brookshire made his famous comment about the University of Louisville having a combined IQ of about 40. Well, he said it. Apologized for it, but he said it. 2nd and 10. Oakland at their own 35. We'll try to go wide here with Charlie Smith. And Smith finds a hole, gains 9 yards, and it'll be 3rd and 1 yard with the ball at the 44. Double tight end set. We'll go inside and we'll call LaMonica's number here, and he will get the first down, a pickup of 2. Jeff Ropew making the stop, probably inquiring about LaMonica's family tree. Sweep to the left, Hewlett-Dixon with 4:06 to go. Dallas is blitzing, but I like the play call. And
Holding, offense, number 87, 15-yard penalty.
as I was telling you earlier, these are 15-yard holding penalties back in 1970, so these are drive killers. And it will now be a 1st and 25. We're going to screen it over to Charlie Smith. And that was thrown a little beyond him. Howley nearly got to it, but it's incomplete. Litnikoff, a short hitch on, a medium hitch on 2nd and 25. That is incomplete. and nearly intercepted by Herb Adderley. I wonder if anybody called him Cannonball Adderley, like the jazz singer of that era. Okay, 3rd and 25. Time to go deep, and we're going to try to look for Freddie Bolitnikoff here. With 3 minutes left in the half. There's the throw. Incomplete. Adderley tipped it but could not control it, and Oakland must punt. They have Mike Escheid back to punt. This is a few years before they had Ray Guy. And the returner, Renfro, returns at 7 yards. Mel Renfro, who's one of the corners on the Dallas defense. It's now 1st and 10 Dallas with 2:40 left, and they already have a 14-3 lead. So these were two very good teams in 1969, and of course in real life Dallas made the Super Bowl in 1970. Oakland did not make. Oakland made the playoffs and lost in the AFC Championship to Baltimore. We'll go back to Thomas. Might hurry and try to get another play here. No gain. We'll just go to the 2-minute warning with Dallas ahead. See what they can do here on 2nd and 10. We're going to run to the right. We're going to go Dwayne Thomas. And Thomas. No gain. Oakland calling time. They have 2 timeouts left in the first half. It's 3rd and 10. We will go Ditka. Short out. Morton under the gun, and he is sacked by Gus Otto. Oakland calling another timeout, so they want the ball back, and they want to go on their 2-minute drill. They have 1 left, and Ron Whitby is back to punt for the Dallas Cowboys. Wyatt with a 5-yard return up to the 24. Minute 43 left in the half. Dallas has played better than Oakland has. 157 yards to their 122. No turnovers yet, and we've only had 3 penalties. We'll go Wells on the short out on 1st and 10 from the 24. We have a marker down.
Pass interference, defense. Number 52, 5-yard penalty, automatic. 1st down.
You heard our referee. That's pass interference, and it's now a 1st and 10 from the 29. Medium hitch, and we'll go Bolitnikoff's way. He's in the slot. There's the throw. It's right on the money, and a gain of 18. And Oakland will hurry. Now they will try to get out of bounds with their plays. And we will go to Wells. 1st and 10 from the 47. Oakland's own 47. That's an incompletion. And that stops the clock at 1:15 left to go in the half. How about Sherman on a short hitch? That is incomplete. 3rd and 10. How about Raymond Chester? But we're not going to go to Chester. We're going to go to Bolitnikoff on the short crossing route. 1:08 left to go. Complete, but only for 3 yards. And on 4th and 7, it's punting time for Oakland, but they're going to milk the clock down to 21 seconds and not give the Cowboys a lot of time. Escheid will punt. Could have kicked it, but the odds, when the odds are as minuscule as they were, I think it was 2%. We don't try it. Escheid's punt down to about the 6, and that's where Dallas will take over. And Oakland will blitz. It won't matter unless Thomas does a fumble here, which he does not. A gain of 9, and we will not call another play in this half. So Dallas with a 14-3 lead as we go to the second half, and we will be right back. So there's your halftime score, everybody. Dallas 14, Oakland 3. But you know that Oakland will be back in the second half. I would have to think, right? And perhaps the humid weather of Dallas playing a role in this. Let's check the individual stats real quickly before we go. Morton, 7 for 7, 134 yards. He is the standout of the game so far. LaMonica, 6 of 13, 87 yards. Thomas is your rushing leader, but he took 13 carries to get there, 40 yards. Hewlett-Dixon has been effective, 4 carries for 36. Let's get the second half started. It's Washington back deep at his 3, maybe 2. And this is a nice return. Making it to midfield. Wilson on the stop for Oakland. And I'm just going to double check real quick to make sure I'm broadcasting. I am. Very good. I could have just seen the yellow box around the screen and that would have done it. Okay, first and 10 at the 50. We're going to go outside and we're going to go to Dwayne Thomas. Just keep running the ball. And Thomas gains 2. It is Oates making the tackle at the 48 of Oakland. Calvin Hill off tackle left. He will gain 2 also, and that's a gain of, yeah, I just said a gain of 2. It's 3rd and 6. Klein making the tackle. So you know here that Morton probably will pass. We'll go to Mike Ditka. Morton has yet to throw a completion. Now I probably jinxed him. No, I did not. Gain of 22.
Personal foul. Defense. Number 43.
And Atkinson losing his cool
First
there.
down.
That must be a future George Atkinson there. So Atkinson losing a little steam. And with the 15-yarder, which is half the distance, shortened to a half the distance penalty, Dallas is at the 12 of Oakland looking to score again. Here's Thomas. There's the 10 from the 12. He will lose a yard, tackled by Gus Otto. So Dallas just lights out in the passing game. 8 for 8 for 156 is Greg Morton. And they have a young up-and-coming quarterback by the name of Roger Staubach. And this is Thomas again, an 8-yard gain. 3rd and 3, the ball at the 5 will bring Garrison in. His only carry was for a touchdown. But maybe he can go 2 for 2 in that department.
False start. Offense. Number 76. 5-yard penalty.
So the false start on Nyland backs them up to the 10. 3rd and 8. We'll do a little Harry High School here and go triple option and let Morton keep it. And Morton with a pickup of 2, calling his own number. And it was half the defense making the tackle at the 8. We'll bring in Mike Clark for a field goal of 15 yards, which he is dead center on. Dallas not really thinking much of Oakland's offense so far. It is 17-3. This will not be Atkinson returning, but instead Warren returns it to the 17. LaMonica will go to the air right away.
False start. Offense. Number 25. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Litnikoff called for the false start, so it's 1st and 15. We'll go outside run with Charlie Smith. We'll throw on 2nd maybe. Gain of 4 for Smith. Cornell Green making the tackle for the Dallas Cowboys. 2nd and 11. The ball resting now at the 16-yard line. 3 wide in for Oakland. And we'll look to Litnikoff here in the slot, number 25. You got us in this mess, you're going to get us out of it. Incomplete pass there. 3rd and 11. LaMonica is 6 for 14 against this very rigid defense of the Dallas Cowboys. Chester on a short hitch. Dallas blitzing, but we're not changing the play call. And that's an incompletion. I was just getting rid of it to get rid of it. And they will punt Ishai back near his own goal line. He gets it away. Dallas is going to have exemplary field position. Hayes with a 2-yard return. And Dallas has it 1st and 10 at the 50. And this is not Canadian football, so there is only one 50-yard line. We'll go Calvin Hill, off tackle to the left. Gain of 4, Keating on the stop for the Raiders. Got to be wondering what hit them. Trailing 17-3 and with a 12-1-1 mark last year. We'll go Thomas on 2nd and 6. 1-yard gain for Thomas. Lasky on the stop, and it's 3rd and 5. We're going to go Thomas and run the ball on 3rd and 5, just to keep Oakland pinned. Gain of 3, 4th and 2 at the 42. Now can we punt it here? Okay, we're going to try to soft shoe punt here with Whitby. Just try to shoehorn it in, and it's going to go through the end zone for a touchback. Well, it was worth a try. Midway through the 3rd quarter by 6 seconds almost, and it's 17-3 in favor of Dallas. Oakland's got to try to make something happen here. We'll go Chester. And LaMonica did not get a good drop back there and Adderley lowered the boom on him, a loss of 4. And how many sacks is that now for Dallas, I wonder? Well, that's only 2. It's only their 2nd sack of the day for 9 yards. Seems like it has been more. We'll go Dixon. We'll go Charlie Smith, actually, on 2nd and 14. Gain of 5. Pugh on the tackle again. 3rd and 9. Man in motion for a short pass to Bolitnikoff. The Raiders having all kinds of problems there, and you see it there. That was a high throw. Bolitnikoff was 8 feet tall. He couldn't catch that. An incompletion, and once again the punt will be Ishai. Oakland having all kinds of trouble. They are 3 out of 9 on 3rd downs. No team has gone for it on 4th yet. And if you're Dallas, why would you? So they have the ball with 5:53 left in the 3rd quarter, and they have a 17-3 lead. We'll go Dwayne Thomas. Oakland was blitzing, and Thomas back to the line. He has 19 carries for 53 yards. Calvin Hill has only had the ball 3 times for 2 yards. Off tackle left for Calvin Hill. He will gain 4. And it's now 3rd and 6. 5:03 left in the 3rd. Ditka, who's had 1 catch already, will be the target here. But Lasky gets to Morton. Loss of 6, and it'll be 4th and 12. Whitby will be in to punt. Should land around the 10. And we'll have the Oakland returner fair catch it. But this is backed up a ways, and fair caught by Wyatt at the 13. Might be seeing George Blanda come in the game, the miracle worker in real life of the 1970 Oakland Raiders. We're going to go Wells on a jet sweep. Reverse. And look at Wells. Past the 50, down to the 44, and a pickup of 43 yards. Biggest gain of the day, I would think, by far, for the Oakland Raiders. Now they are in the Dallas side of the field at the 44. Give Wells a little rest and go to Bolitnikoff on the short out and the double wide receiver set. That is a catch and a gain of 9. So 2 big plays here for Oakland. And they need them. They trail by 14. Another rule that was in existence in 1970, no two-point conversions, and if we were tied after 4 quarters, that's what you got, a tie game. And we have a new running back in the game, that is Smith. No, I beg your pardon, Smith has been in. For some reason, I thought 23 had just entered the game, but he has been playing for quite a while. That was his 10th carry, a loss of 2. Jordan making the stop. And with 2:34 left, it's a 3rd and 3. We'll go 3 wide, and we'll try to go Sherman here, and that is a
Ineligible man
but
downfield. Offense, number 70, 5-yard
he actually
penalty.
dropped it, and it'll be 4th and 3. We'll bring Blanda in for a field goal try of 45 yards out, 44 yards out, which is what his first try was. That is good, and it's 17-6 now. Don't think Oakland will try an onside kick here. 33, Dwayne Thomas with it. He fumbles. Oakland's going to get it. After gaining 20 yards, Otto recovers the fumble, and Oakland back in business with 1:29 left in the 3rd period. They trail 17-6, but they're showing signs of life. How about play action with a man in motion to Raymond Chester? He's got it, a 1st down. Lilly has been injured. He will stay in the game. So a 1st and 10 at the 22. A sweep to the right side with Hewlett-Dixon. See if it could bear any fruit, and he will gain 4. With 35 seconds, he was tackled in bounds. And Oakland's just going to let the quarter expire to get that slight wind advantage, and at the end of 3 quarters, it's Dallas 17 and Oakland 6. Got a quick slant to Fred Biletnikoff in a 3 wide set. No, it's Pugh lowering the boom on him, a loss of 6 yards. And that is not a good way for the 4th quarter to start for the Raiders. Going to be a short out to Biletnikoff on 3rd and 12. A fumble. Dixon got it back after he fumbled. Edwards forced the fumble, and it's 4th and 4 now at the 16. Well, a field goal here doesn't do him any good, because remember, there's no 2-point conversion. There's no 2-point conversion in the NFL in 1970. It was in the AFL in 69, but the NFL did not institute it. So we're going to go for it on 4th, and we're going to go to Raymond Chester. Huge play here for Oakland. LaMonica's going to run. He got the 1st down. So the ball now at the 12. 13:23 left. And we're going to go double tight end and bring Coy in, who's a 0 tight end. This is 23. Charlie Smith gaining 4 yards. Let's look at Coy. Is Coy really a tight end, or is he just playing one on TV? Yes, he is. He's out of Texas. And Ernie Coy was a punter and also a position player for the Giants. I think he was a running back, a reserve running back. Might see the Giants a little later on. Stretch play. Smith on 2nd and 6 from the 8. He gains 2 yards. 3rd and 4 on the 6. Not a lot you can do here. We're going to run right. And we'll actually try Daryl LaMonica here. LaMonica, no gain. 4th and 4 for the 6th. From the 6 we will go for it, and we're going to go to Chester. And that went to Dixon on a check down, and he's got a touchdown. And just like that, the Raiders are back in play. They only trail now 17-12. Blanda on for the point after. It's good, and it's 17-13 with 10:32 left in the game. And we'll watch for an onside kick here. And Dwayne Thomas has it again on the return. He fumbled the last time. And let's see what happens here. He gains 10 yards to the 28. If you're Dallas, you just want to run the ball. Morton has only thrown it 8 times. He's 8 for 8 for 156 yards. We'll go Calvin Hill here. Double tight end, 1 running back formation. And Hill is going to go down the sideline and gain 9 yards. So he's triple tight end with Lance Rensel coming in to play the 3rd tight end. Okay. Very tempting to throw a long pass on 2nd and a yard with Bob Hayes in your core of receivers, but we need to run the clock. In fact, we're going to slow it down a little bit, and we're going to go Dwayne Thomas. Dallas has not been gaining a lot on the ground. That 5-yard gain puts him at 2.9 a clip. 28 carries for 80 yards, and Thomas has 20 of them for 58. So Oakland good against the run, and I'm sure this won't be the last time we see the Oakland Raiders in this 1970 ALTNFL season. 1st and 10, the ball at the 42. How about Calvin Hill on a screen pass? 9:21 now left. That is caught. That's a gain of 8. Gus Otto making the tackle. Morton is now a perfect 9 for 9. Don't forget, after the game, we will recap all the other games that took place in the first week of this ALTNFL 1970 season. We're going to go Calvin Hill here on 2nd and a deuce. Hill's got it. Can't find an opening, and Gus Otto making the tackle for a loss at 3 yards. And that's 3rd and 5 now at the 47. Just double check something because my camera is not on. Okay, good. 17-13 your score. 7:44 left. We'll look for Rucker on a 3rd and 5.
Offsides, defense. Number 84, 5-yard penalty.
That's a very costly. Oh, we declined it? Oof. Made a mistake there, folks. Maybe Tom Landry thinks that the defense for the Raiders can hold Oakland. That was a whoops. Would be the punt. I should have taken it and taken the 1st down, of course. And the ball goes out of bounds at the 13. So the Raiders need a touchdown. They got 87 yards to go with 6:49 left. Could be the last chance to get one here. Trap left, Hewlett Dixon on 1st and 10. Gain of 5. Lilly on the stop. Bob Lilly, Hall of Fame defensive tackle for the Cowboys. How about a 2nd and 5 at the 18? We'll go Charlie Smith's way. And he got the 1st down. And Oakland has actually outgained Dallas now at 242 to 226. Inside run, Hewlett Dixon on 1st and 10 from the 23. Gain of 2 by Dixon. Andrea on the stop. 2nd and 8. We're going to screen it to Dixon. See if that's working. It is. A fumble. Recovered by Dallas. Edwards on the stop and the fumble and the recovery. Pulled the triple play there. He made the tackle, he forced the fumble, and he recovered the fumble. 1st and 10 at the 33. 4:15 left to go in this game. And here, I can't resist trying to go up top to Bob Hayes one time. Hit me, baby, one more time. Thomas on the catch, a gain of 8. Lasky on the stop. 2nd down and 2. And again, Dallas will just slow it down. They'll run that counter. Sweep to the right and go with Dwayne Thomas. And he smells what the rock was cooking
Personal
there.
foul. Offense. Number 89.
Oh, Ditka.
15-yard penalty.
Ditka got into a fight with somebody and got a personal foul, so that's 2nd and 17 now. I'm still going to run the ball. Still going to run it. We're going to sweep to the left with Dwayne. And he's going to gain a nice chunk of yards, 10 yards, with 3:01 to play. Well, there's no incentive to throw the ball here, even though Morton is now 10 for 11, by only throwing an incompletion. Calvin Hill an inside run on 3rd and 7. And that's a gain of 4. 2:13 left. Oakland not calling time, so we'll let it go down to the 2-minute warning. Clark in to try a field goal. This would be 33 yards. Remember, you just add 7. Oh, and he shanked it wide left. No good, and I'm going to have to restart the game. So just bear with me a moment, folks. Say hello to Leonard Nimoy. I'm going to go back on camera while I'm doing that. Hello, everybody. So this was unexpected. This game just came out a couple of days ago as I'm recording this, so there are probably bound to be errors and patches and all kinds of things here. So it's been a good game, 17-13. Now Oakland gets the ball with a chance to win it late. And with that, I'm just going to stop tape for a moment and see what's wrong. Okay, folks, we're back live. Sorry for the faux pas, but beyond my control. With 1:57 now left in the game, and the Raiders trailing 17-13. We'll go Bolitnikoff here on a short hitch on 1st and 10. Oakland with all 3 timeouts. And Chester caught it a gain of 8. Oakland quickly going to the line. Bolitnikoff on the short slant. Just worked the middle of the field. Oh, an interception by Edwards.
Offense, number 76.
And that might seal it for Dallas as Oakland commits their 2nd turnover of the afternoon. Edwards with the pick, and I believe he got the first one. Oakland still with all 3 timeouts, and we're going to make them burn them. First down will go a big way here for the Cowboys. Here's Dwayne Thomas. He gains 3, and it's a timeout for Oakland. Minute 24 now left in the game. Oakland trailing by 4. As my air conditioning kicks in. Calvin Hill off tackle to the left. Out of Yale. Gain of 3, a gain of 4, and make it 3rd and 3, and Oakland calls their 2nd timeout. We'll go Dwayne on 3rd and 3 to try to seal it. He's got the first down. Oakland calls their last timeout. And that should do it. Now remember, back in the early 1970s, there was no kneel down. Remember the miracle at the Meadowlands that the Eagles pulled off against the Giants in 1978. Hill's going to run it inside.
Holding. Offense, number 61, 15-yard penalty.
But all they have to do is run the ball twice. 1st and 25 from the 40. Stay in bounds, Calvin Hill. Just play it safe. Loss of 4. 56 seconds left, so all they got to do now is just run the ball once more. Morton's going to dive and get down quickly. A gain of 4. This one is over, and the Cowboys go to 1-0 and defeat the Oakland Raiders by the score of 17-13. Your MVP was Edwards with those 2 interceptions. Morton, the better passer, 10 for 11, 172 yards. The best rusher was Dwayne Thomas, 23 for 74. Best receiver, Bob Hayes, 3 for 79. But Hewlett Dixon caught 4 passes for 25. And your leading tacklers, Edwards, Klein, and Otto. Edwards for Dallas, Klein and Otto for the Raiders with 8 tackles each. All right, cue up your favorite music from NFL films, and we'll go through the scores of this first week of the ALTNFL of 1970. Baltimore over Buffalo, 27-10 in an East Division matchup. O.J. Simpson with a kickoff return to make it a little bit closer than it was. Mike Curtis was the MVP of the game. He had 7 tackles, 1 sack, and 2 defensive plays. Passes defense. Let's see if he did anything else. Recovered 2 fumbles. And Johnny Yu went 10 for 21 for 105 yards. Shaw had a worse game, 9 for 21, 98 yards. How was the weather in Buffalo, and did that have a factor? Nope, it was 74 degrees and calm. Another East Division battle pitted the Philadelphia Eagles against the New York Jets, and the Eagles won 10-7, which was a rarity for them in 1970. Game was decided by a Norm Snead 39-yard pass to Hawkins. Rosevich was the MVP of the game. Snead 18 for 33, 267 yards. Woodall started, with Joe Namath continuing to have injury problems. Only went 11 for 29 for 99. Let's see what Rosevich did of note. He made 9 tackles and 2 sacks. At Boston in Harvard Stadium, Boston going to be renamed the New England Patriots next year in 1971. It was Washington over Boston, 32-21. Kurt Knight with 4 field goals, and the MVP was Bass. Mike Bass, cornerback, and we'll see why here in a moment. Bass, 2 tackles, but 2 interceptions for 37 yards. Didn't score any touchdowns. Joe Kapp with a couple of touchdown passes for the Boston Patriots after leading Minnesota to the prior year's Super Bowl, Super Bowl IV. Interdivisional contest between the Giants and the Cardinals. They do not play in the East. They do not both play in the East Division in the ALTNFL, and it was St. Louis pounding the Giants 34-14. Your MVP was Lane, who scored a touchdown in the first quarter to make it 13-0. Lane had 15 carries for 69 yards, but made 3 catches for 104. So the Cardinals go 1-0 and will be one of the co-leaders in the Midwest Division. Cincinnati, in an interdivisional contest, beats the LA Rams 26-10. MVP was Ken Riley. See what he did. The Rattler out of Florida A&M that would play well into the 80s. 1 interception for 30 yards. And the Rams a little hapless, which they were usually playoff contenders in the late 60s, but didn't do so well in the early 70s. Riley made a 30-yard interception return for a touchdown, and that made the score 23-3. Teams exchanging scores the rest of the way, 26-10, your final there. In Atlanta, it was the Bears, who were 1-13 in the year of 1969. And after they trailed in this game 13-0, they came back with 26 unanswered and won 26-13 over the Atlanta Falcons. Gordon caught the decisive touchdown from Jack Concannon 15 yards out. And Gordon was thrown to 10 times, 5 catches, 87 yards. 34-yard catch was his longest, and he scored one of the passing touchdowns for Chicago. And Atlanta was held to 247 yards of offense. Tommy Novus played well for the Falcons. In the game you saw, Dallas over Oakland 17-13. Pittsburgh with a big win over the Saints 31-7. And it was Callan with a 32-yard interception return to seal it to get player of the game honors. Pittsburgh went 1-13 in 1969 in the NFL when they played in the National Football League. Callan with 2 picks for 32 yards. Detroit and Minnesota, 2 teams that would contend for most of 1970 in real life. It was Detroit prevailing at Metropolitan Stadium by the score of 35-24. MVP was Lynn Barney, who had a 52-yard interception return, tied the score a little more than midway through the second quarter, and we'll go check Barney's stats. Barney with 2 kick returns going 58 yards each on those returns. But he made 2 interception returns, 63 yards. One of them was a touchdown. Now remember, I was telling you that in 1970 NFL you could have tie games after 4 quarters, and Miami and Green Bay did that. In Green Bay, a 10-10 tie. Greasy was the MVP, Bob Greasy out of Purdue. Relatively young man at this point in his career, 16 for 31, 193 yards, 3 sacks, but he threw a touchdown. Also carried the ball 4 times for 22 yards. This must have been a good game as San Francisco beat Denver 31-30. San Francisco had a very good team around this time. Going to back-to-back NFC Championship games, losing to Dallas each time. Washington with a couple of TD catches. Let's check on his stats. 6 catches, 176 yards, 2 touchdowns, as San Francisco just prevails on a Willard run. Ken Willard, 3 yards out with 2:30 to go, and they just squeaked by the Broncos at Mile High, 31-30. In a West Division contest, Houston over San Diego, 37-21. And it was Jerry Levias having a big game for the Houston Oilers here. 1 catch, 1 rush for 29 yards, 5 catches for 92 yards, 1 carry for 29, I should say. And he had 1 receiving touchdown, and that was late to seal it from Charlie Johnson from 33 yards out. So Houston on the board in this 1970 ALTNFL season. And the Monday night game was Kansas City and Cleveland, the Super Bowl champions, facing the NFL runners-up of 1969. 41-27 your final. Taylor with a big game. Cleveland came back after trailing 41-14 in the 4th. Couple of late touchdowns just to make it look close on the box score, but this was not close at all. Barnes got it going with an interception return from Cleveland, and then after that, Kansas City got 38 points unanswered. And let's look at Taylor's stats on the day. He had 7 catches, 131 yards, 3 touchdowns. Dawson was sharp, 20 for 24, 313 yards, 1 pick, but 4 touchdown passes. So after 1 week of the All-NFL season, Washington, Philadelphia, Baltimore off to good starts in the Eastern Division. In the Mid-East, we have Pittsburgh surprising along with Cincinnati and Detroit. In the Midwest, Chicago, St. Louis, Kansas City all with wins. And in the West, San Francisco, Houston, and as you saw, Dallas prevailing 17-13 over the Oakland Raiders. So I hope you enjoyed this look into, making sure I'm on cam, that's correct, good, as Ella comes to join us. Hope you enjoyed week 1 of the ALTNFL. We will be back shortly to give you week 2 of the ALTNFL. Don't know what game I'm going to do yet, but I'll find I'll find a good one for you. Don't you worry about that. In fact, let me just take a look right now. Take a look at me now. See, what are the 1-0 games I can do? Okay. We got St. Louis, Chicago. And we got Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. St. Louis and Chicago is what we will probably do. And don't hold me to it. For the second week of the ALTNFL. See if Chicago is for real after a 1-13 season in the prior year of 1969. So I hope you all enjoyed this. This has been Big Paulie coming to you, wishing you all Godspeed. God bless. We'll do it all again soon, and bye-bye for now, everybody.